Hello again, Struck Club. Today I'm bringing you a video which will serve as a patch notes overview for the new Slayer edition, as the developers have called it, patch, which is from yesterday, the 10th of November, and it includes a ton of free content and an optional new hero, the Witch Hunter, as a DLC. Basically, they've also decided to make some sort of changes to the Slayer edition. And the Slayer edition is something like an add-on. Based on what you have, the Slayer edition can be purchased as an add-on. So if you only have the base version and you only want to get the DLC things inside of the Slayer edition, you're gonna see one price. If you have half of the DLCs and you only need the other half, then you're gonna see a different price. If you don't have anything, you're gonna see the full price of the Slayer edition. So that's kind of how it operates. They're saying the price of the Slayer edition varies depending on what DLC you own. They're saying we're excited to announce the release of the Slayer edition of Warhammer Chaosbane onto Steam. And the Slayer edition is a new package for the game, which includes all of the content that's been released for Chaosbane thus far, including the Tomb Kings and the Witch Hunter. Alternatively, you can purchase the Witch Hunter separately. The Slayer edition and Witch Hunter release alongside a number of free updates to the core experience, bringing new zones, new enemies and more. That's what we will talk about, the free update. The Slayer edition and the Witch Hunter, I will leave those aside from this video. I will make a separate video just for the Witch Hunter DLC, and let's dig into the patch notes. So, as mentioned, the Witch Hunter Jürgen Heider makes his way to Warhammer Chaosbane, and he's able to switch between two styles, either getting up close and personal with his sword or exhausting the gunnery school's ammo reserve as you rain down bullets on those who would oppose you. And we will not say anything more than this for him. Now, the Prague hub and the known hub, which is Act 2 and Act 1, have been expanded to have more places in the city that you can walk around. There's also NPCs, neutral NPCs added to the Tomb Kings hub and also to Prague and known. The Tomb Kings DLC is required, of course, if you want to access the Tomb Kings hub. Then additions of new raids to previous chapters. In Act 1, Quest 5 plus 7 have been replaced by a raid in known cemetery. Quest 9 has been replaced in Act 2 by a raid in the Tower of Chaos. Then there's new enemies added, which are rats. Then there's 4 types of demon princes, which is the Nurgle, Swanesh, Kor and Sinch, for Acts 1, 3, 2 and 4. Then there's the cultist with double access in the Corn Act 2 zones. Then there's in Act 2 the Corn Warrior, and the Corn Skull Crusher and the Corn Skull Crusher mounted. Then there's also a new map variety added to the relic hunting, which is the known cemetery. And there's also new enemies added to relic hunting, which is the demon princess. And there's also High Prince added to the Tomb King's relic hunting. Now let's move on towards balance, the balance changes. They're saying regeneration skills for all heroes. Not sure what that means. I didn't see anything new, maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. They're also saying improved animation transitions for the heroes and legendary skill endurance. For that skill they've rebalanced it so that the maximum damage taken reduction is decreased from 30 to 20%, so 10% less damage reduction from the endurance legendary skill. Now moving on hero by hero, let's start with Vollen, the way the developers listed it. He's first Konrad Vollen, the soldier. Base Bok rating decreased from 10 to 5%. Sacred Reward and Purifier favor superior skills, bonus duration is increased. Empire Justice cooldown increased from 9 seconds to 12, so that's Justice of the Empire skill. This probably has been translated from the French patch notes to English, and there might be some not exactly word for word translated things as they are, or maybe it's exactly word for word but not the way it's worded in the game. But yeah, Empire Justice refers to Justice of the Empire. It's kind of the obvious choice here. And animations have been fastened of those falling meteors. Then Pistolier, the animation speed is increased. Level 3 deals more damage but costs more energy. So 35 energy instead of 25. They're not saying how high the damage has increased, and I haven't had much time to test this specifically, but this seems like a very big damage, not big damage, but very big energy increase. I hope the damage reflects this energy change. Wisdom of the Apothecary, which is a shield, that gives you this skill, a heroic skill from a shield, that costs 0 skill points. Level 1 cooldown bonus reduction increased from -25% to -30% cooldown for your potion, and the level 2 allied healing increased. Oh, that's for the Wisdom of the Apothecary non-heroic. So on level 1 the cooldown reduction is increased, and on level 2 the healing is increased from 20 to 30%. Then we have Divine Reprisal, which gives us a damage bonus increase from 20, 25, 30 to 20, 30, 40%, which is pretty interesting. Then Purifier's Favor, counter-attack damage bonus increase from 20, 20, 30 to 30, 30, 40%. Then Herald of the Empire, which is one of the banners. The damage bonus of the level 3 one of the mastered version is increased from 20 to 30%, and the defense bonus is decreased from 20 to 15%. Then the Banner of the Order, another banner. Actually, Herald of the Empire is not the banner, my bad there. But yeah, Banner of the Order. The defense bonus decreased from 30 to 20%, and at level 2 the duration increased from 16 to 18%. Not really a big fan of this change. I think those 2 seconds are not gonna make or break the skill. You could kind of spam it with good enough cooldown reduction skills, so that's something like a change no one asked for. It feels like a nerf rather than a rebalance. So Banner of the Empire, damage bonus increased from 20, 20, 25% to 30, 30, 40%, and the duration is increased from on level 2 from 16 to 18. Again, this cooldown is not needed, but I like the damage increase. So basically what I've noticed, most of the changes are making it so that we do more damage, or at least for Konrad, to do more damage but to take more damage as well. So less tanky, more damage is what they're trying to make him be. Then a break through the ranks, or as I like to call it, tickle the ranks, because you're not breaking through anything with the way this skill works. The level 3 bonus is defense, and the defense is kind of decreased from 25. This damage reduction, I think, not, they're saying defense, but it's damage reduction. The damage reduction is not 25%, it's 15% now. Again, as I said, they're trying to make you less tanky, but at least give you more damage. Then Benediction of Sigmar. The damage bonus is increased from 20, 20, 30 to 30, 30, 40%. And Sigmar's Wrath damage bonuses are increased from 20, 30, 20 to 30, 40, 30%. And Sigmar's Herald, the duration is increased from 10, 10, 10 seconds to 14, 16, 14 seconds. So yeah, in general, Konrad, he's becoming stronger, but he's also becoming more vulnerable. So Elontir, the Mage. Arcane Banishment has received a damage bonus. Etheric Blade, the damage reduction on that has been decreased from 20 to 10%. Not a big fan of this, but we'll see how it plays out. Then Phoenix Bulwark, the damages increase, the duration increased. Level 2 is now a magic skill instead of fire, and it now adds slow to enemies instead of burn. Then Step Between Worlds. The damage is increased, but the ground mark duration is decreased. They're not saying exact numbers, but that's interesting. So if damage between worlds heroic does more damage as well than before, I would love that Riftwalker build. to test it to see how much it changed. Then absorption and arcane banishment. Superior skills bonus duration is increased. Etheric vortex, the animation is increased. The defense bonus is reduced on level 2, basically the damage reduction instead of 20, 10%. Then Aether intelligence. Damage bonus decreased from 25, increased from 25 to 30%. Arcane binding. The damage bonus increased from 20 to 30% and 30 to 40 at level 3. Then Quaish Mastery, the damage bonus increased from 20 to 30%. Axi Mastery, the damage bonus increased from 20 to 30%. Arcane Secrets, again damage bonus increased from 20, 30, 40 to 30, 40, 50%. And Etheric Ray, level 2. Effect duration increased from 12 seconds to 18 seconds, that's pretty interesting. And Etheric Storm, a damage bonus increased from 20, 25, 20 to 30, 40, 30. And Arcane Manifestation, level 2, the superior. The defense bonus is decreased from 20 to 10%, and the Relentless Sentinel weapon, immobile time needed to trigger the bonus effect has been reduced, which is pretty decent. I really love this change to the Relentless Sentinel. So again, I'm seeing the exact same pattern here. They're trying to make Elontir as well do more damage with all sorts of different things, but wherever Elontir could get damage reduction, they're reducing that. And this kind of kills the builds that were tanky for Chaos 9 and 10, and now Chaos 10 probably would feel as Chaos 9 used to before. Actually, Chaos 9 would feel as Chaos 10 used to in regards to how much damage you're taking when min-maxing all those damage reductions. They're probably trying to push people into playing together. That's my guess here. They want us to play together to stack different damage and damage reduction buffs, and they probably want to make it so that Chaos 8 is the optimal sweet spot for farming solo. Which is not bad. Actually, even on Chaos 6 and 7 you can get a ton of legendary, not legendary, but heroic green items, so that's not bad. Now moving on to Bragi, Axebiter, the Dwarven Slayer. For him, Call to Oath has been reworked. Increase the damage bond 20 to 30% of the speed bonus at level 2, 20% to 30%, but decrease the duration from 15 to 10 seconds. Then Laceration. The stun chance is reduced from 30 to 20%, but increase the level of armor piercing. Very interestingly worded, but yeah, they've increased the amount of armor piercing from 30 to 40%. And the life gained from the death of enemies is decreased from 20 to 10%. With Laceration. Then Body Count and Second Wind, superior skills bonus duration is increased. Then the Trail of Blood damage bonus has been increased from 20 to 30%, and Relentless Carnage has gotten some debuffs. The damage bonus, actually it's not really a debuff, yeah, it's a buff, let's say a buff. Damage bonus is increased from 20 to 30%, but the energy you get back at level 2 is reduced to 4 to 3. I think it's still good. I think it's still good, even though it's 1/4 less energy. They're still giving you 50% more damage from what you had, from 20 to 30%. So overall, it's actually a buff in my opinion. Some people might think it's a debuff, but the damage is worth it. Okay, now Unstoppable. Life level trigger has been decreased from 20, 30, 50% to 10, 20, 30%. I'm not sure whether this would be considered a buff or debuff. I didn't pay attention to Unstoppable when I was playing on Bragi earlier today. So I have to go back and check that skill, but I hope it's a good change. Then Spite Smite. Finally getting some sort of reworks over there. And the enemy's life level to trigger Spite Smite has been decreased from 30, 40, 30 to 20, 30, 30. But the damage is increased from 20, 20, 30 to 30, 30, 40. Well, I don't know if I'm a big fan of this, but maybe it's gonna be for the better. To make sure you're doing a lot of damage on very low HP enemies. Then Heartseeker, an axe, has had this change. The damage bonus increased depending on missing life. So that was kind of needed. The Heartseeker wasn't giving much damage based on how much life is missing, and you needed to get to very low HP states to see a benefit from that one. So good thing. I'm gonna be experimenting eventually with that, but it's not gonna be anytime soon because I'm too busy with the Witch Hunter. Now Elessa, Barbed Brambos, the animation has been sped up. The damage has been increased, and at level 2 it now deals poison damage, and the level 3 is now physical. Then Dashing Dagger, the damage has been increased finally. I'm very happy about this change. I hope it's a decent increase. The Spinning Blade skill has gotten an increase to the turning projectiles to last longer, from 24 seconds to 30 seconds. Then the Queen's Reward and Force of Nature superior skill bonus duration is increased. I'm not sure which those skills are, but I'm gonna try and guess. I mean, Force of Nature I know, and that was the one that gives you and that was the one I think that was giving you some sort of HP regen or something like that. I have to check it, but yeah, that's probably mistranslation or something like that. Then Hungry Roots, level 2 and 3 effects are switched. The level 2 deals now poison damage and the level 3 deals physical. Then Master of Poison, very interesting increase here. Master of Poison now does, instead of 20-30% damage, and the level 2 poison duration has been increased from 4 seconds to 5 seconds, and the slow effect chance has been decreased from 20 to 10%. Then Follow Tracks, level 3, the damage bonus is increased from 20 to 30%. I really like this change, but the duration is reduced from 6 to 3 seconds. So for builds that are more mobile, they're gonna see that benefit and not see the nerf of the duration impacting them. Then Nature's Herald, the damage bonus is increased from 20, 30, 40 to 30, 40, 50%. And for Ambush Specialist, the damage bonus is increased from 20 to 50%, which is amazing for all those physical damage builds, for all those ambush builds. I think this would be amazing. Then Guardian Spirit, the damage reduction bonus has been decreased, which is from 20 to 15%, which I'm not a big fan. Elessa was the one with the least amount of survivability, and then yet they go ahead and keep reducing it, even though she has to jump through hoops literally to get damage reduction. Now they're even reducing the damage reduction she can get. Then Spiral Cut, the damage has been increased, and level 2 now gains the effect of damage taken reduction during several seconds after the skill is used. I think what they mean, the damage taken is reduced for several seconds after using the skill. That's probably what was meant here. So you get a few seconds of damage reduction after using Spiral Cut, which is nice. Now they're giving us another source of damage reduction, thankfully. And then there's skills cooldown reduction. They're not mentioning what skills, but I'm assuming many. The way they worded it. Okay, now let's move on to Keela the Engineer. They're saying that mechanical hits now has an increased damage bonus from 20 to 30%, but they fixed the buggy damage, bonus fire damage from the mastered mechanical hits, which was, we gotta admit, this one was such an overpowered bug. It could just make you do so much damage and just use excavation, and yeah, it was a lot. Then Recycling, increased of the damage bonus at level 3, 30% to 40%. Then Experimental Mine, mind you, the cooldown has been removed, and it was never counted as a cooldown skill for things that trigger off of cooldown skills. So good thing that it now doesn't have cooldown, at least. And now the energy cost has been lowered, and it has a bigger hitbox. It is also now possible to have 10 mines on the ground instead of 5. So that's gonna be a lot of spamming. Maybe they need to increase the animation speed so we can get those 10 mines on the ground quicker than before. Now, precise calculation and divine inspiration, superior skills bonus duration is increased. I have no idea exactly which one those are. I think divine inspiration is divine reprisal. And precise calculation, I really don't know which one this is. That seems like a mistranslation maybe. Then alternating pistols is the defense bonus is decreased from 20% to 15%. Very sad about this change. But the damage bonus is increased from 20 to 25%. Again, like the other heroes, they're trying to give us damage, but to remove our survivability, to force us to play together. So we can give each other different buffs and debuffs to make things easier on everyone. Then upgraded radiator, again a decrease of the damage reduction from 20 to 15%, and then upgraded automaton. Now the level 2 defense bonus is decreased again from 20 to 15%, and the level 3 damage bonus is increased from 30 to 40%. Then Blessed Boiler. I think there was another name in the game, how it was translated, but yeah, the boiler skill, the damage bonus is increased from 20, 30, 40 to 30, 40, 50%. Volatile Vapor, again I think that might be another mistranslation here. The damage bonus is increased from 50, 75, 100 to 50, 100, 150%. So pretty interesting change there. And now Engineer of War, a skill I really love using. The damage reduction is decreased from 20 to 15% sadly, but the speed bonus is increased at level 2, which it's not what made this skill great honestly, but okay, it's good to have that extra speed. And there's better armor piercing from 20 to 25%. Now we're moving on to some general bug fixes, or just bug fixes I guess, not balances, but bug fixes. When combining 3 gems of different colors during god crafting, I mean during blessing I guess, that's what they mean, the summoned pet skills can now be boosted. So basically what that refers to, if you link 3 gems of different color on one side, you can get, I think it was 5% damage. Or 2 point, I think it's 5% damage to a certain skill, and I can't remember whether it was 5 or 10% total per item, but I think it was 5% total per item, 2.5 for 3 combined gems. If you do 2 of those per item, it gives you 5, and if you have 10 items with that, it's 50%, and it's 50% only to that specific skill, and it's still very underwhelming. If it only gives you this much. I need to test it to see if they boosted this damage. Now Keela gets rings in the invasion mode, so you can finally start collecting rings on Keela. And now the knockback effect has been fixed on Ungor Grunts, Raiders and Pink Horrors. And in multiplayer the relic hunting combo meter is correctly synchronized between players. And also they're saying something that has been fixed about Wife Steal. I'm not sure what health drain had that's buggy. Whatever that is, I would like to know more. We probably never will know what exactly this means, because I never knew there was a bug with it. Then Bird of the Dawi on Bragi has gotten this change. Hit post cost has been fixed. Ancestor's Gift Superior on Bragi has gotten a fix that says it's now working correctly. I'm not sure what wasn't correctly, I'm assuming the secondary bonus. And then Elessa's Thorny Arrows level 2 is now working correctly. Again, I have no idea exactly what was broken with it before. But that pretty much sums up the patch notes. Overall, as I said a few times, they're making everyone do more damage, but they're reducing the sources of survivability, or not reducing the number of sources, but reducing the survivability we get from all sources on every class. and my guess is their reason to do that is to force people to play together and co-op. In general, it's not a bad patch, but there are certain things that have not been mentioned. For example, on Elessa, some people mentioned that the bonus damage that your summons get from that skill that used to give you stacks of how much damage you can get per when the summons hit enemies. This one is now reduced to half as what you could get before. So I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of things that might not be on the patch notes, and eventually we would have to figure those out. But I think it's not a bad patch, and considering that it took 6 months, maybe it was a little bit too little for just 6 months. Especially it's most disappointing when it came to Elessa, but we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have to spend some time testing, but I will be busy with Godfall as well and Torchlight 3, so whenever I do have time to revisit every single class for testing, I will make sure to let people know my results. To get notified when I upload more content like this or similar for this game or other games like it, such as wooters of all varieties, you could subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button to not miss out on notifications, and optionally you can even join as a member of the Struck Club and get access to emotes, badges or other perks such as private tutorials and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank the people who are currently YouTube members of the Struck Club. Thanks for watching this video, keep it cool, and until next time, Struck Club. Goodbye.